Okay guys, are you aware of the beliefs that you hold about you? Are you aware of the beliefs that you hold about the world at large? I really hope you are aware, because whether you are aware or not, those belief systems are running your life through a piece of your brain called the Reticular Activating System. In this video, I'll break that down for you and how to be more aware of your beliefs so you can take charge of your life. Henry Ford had a quote, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right." It's like a poster that you might see hanging on like a high school gymnasium and you're playing dodgeball and whack! But that quote is actually very, very accurate. Scary accurate, actually, because there's a part of your brain called the Reticular Activating System. Also, I like to call it RAS. RAS, queen. RAS actually exists so that it can distort, delete, and generalize all of the information that is coming in through your senses, right? Because if you were to actually register all of the sensory information that is coming into you, your brain would explode. It would be, boo, confetti, right? So what it does is it goes, oh, that piece of information is important and that's not important. So we're just going to give you information that's important to you right now. That's why you can go sit at a restaurant, pre-COVID days. You can go sit at a restaurant and, there is that baby crying over there and the mom going, "Don't cry!" And, the boyfriend and girlfriend fighting over there and the girl going, "Why'd you break up with me?" And the guy in the kitchen you can hear who thinks he's Gordon Ramsay going, "Get it together! We have to make the stakes rare!" And all of that is filtered out so that you can pay attention to your girlfriend talking about her boyfriend problems again. To actually register everything that was happening around you, you couldn't pay attention to, Gina. Now, in a similar way, right? Because you're focusing on Gina, everything else kind of fades into the background, right? And only information that is pertinent to what is happening here will register. Just like that, if you have certain beliefs in your brain, the reticular activating system will kick in and strengthen the beliefs that you already hold. Right? It'll filter out information that is contrary to the beliefs that you actually already hold. It is a survival mechanism. Here's kind of a good example of how reticular activation system works. We've all done this. It's an embarrassing story, but here we go. The other night, I couldn't sleep. I just could not sleep. I could not sleep. I kept waking up every hour on the hour. And then I looked out the window and I realized, oh my God, it's a full moon. And I was like, no wonder why I can't sleep, because it's a full moon. So the next morning I started going down, the Google rabbit hole about, the full moon's effect on people's sleep patterns. And I found a scientist who was like, that's not a real thing. It's something that, people have made up. It's superstition. And I looked at that and I thought, fake news, it happened to me yesterday. So then I looked up more people and I found this doctor who was like, actually, that's not a real thing. We do not get affected by full moon. And I thought, fake news, man. It happened to me yesterday. And I kept looking. And finally, I found the source, right, that would agree with me. This 18-year-old girl has a YouTube channel where she collects healing crystal gems. Her name's Sapphire or something. And she's like, oh my God, you guys, full moons are a real thing. Every month I have to hold my crystals to go to sleep. And I looked at her and I was like, see, I knew it was true. So essentially, because I had already made up my mind that this full moon sleep pattern thing was a real correlation, I ignored scientists and doctors and I went with Sapphire, the 18-year-old girl with the YouTube channel who holds crystals to sleep, right? That's a problem. So a lot of us go through life like we make up our minds about what we believe to be true and we just look for evidence of that being true to strengthen our pre-existing beliefs. where actually many of us are not open to new incoming information. If you're not aware of this pattern, then you'll just go strengthening beliefs that you already hold. And this is where fake news comes from, because people already have decided that they know something for sure. And so any information that comes in that is contrary to what they're already holding is considered fake news. Fake news, right? It's like you already have a belief, and so your reticular activating system will delete, distort, and generalize all incoming information to match the belief that you already hold. It is a scary, powerful part of your brain. And that is why it's so important to be really aware of your belief systems. Because if you're not aware of your belief systems, then the reticular activation system will work anyway. So if you have a belief pattern that is totally screwing you over, but you hold that belief pattern and you're not aware that you're holding that belief pattern, the reticular activating system will do its job anyway. There's another example. I used to be a really big kid. I was 5'7" and 220 pounds in 8th grade. And so I was made fun of relentlessly for being fat. This was before the PC culture would have stopped that. This was 1998. No one cared about anything. So I had a mental belief that I was fat, right? And even after I lost the weight, I still felt like I was fat. But because it was so ingrained into my brain, it didn't register the evolution. Like, I was in good shape now, but I still thought I was fat. And so the reticular activating system kicked in for the belief that I was fat. So it kept looking for evidence of my being fat, even to the point where I would like literally hunch over, grab a piece of skin and go, look how fat I am, and register that as evidence for my being fat. Also, I might go to a night on the town with friends and I would take 40 great photos and find that one where it looks like I kind of have a belly, and then I'd be like, see, I'm fat, and use that as evidence, right? And all of the other evidence was generalized, deleted, and distorted out by reticular activating system because it didn't support my narrative that I was fat, okay? That's a problem, because that makes you not living in reality. It makes you a person that is actually living with a pre-existing belief that you're serving your beliefs. You're not actually living in reality. Some of you might be saying, well, what do you want me to do, Aidan? What if like my situation's real and that sucks? What am I supposed to do about that? I'm not saying to deny reality. Like, if you're in debt, you're in debt. That's just the end of, story. You're in debt. But if you're sitting there, there's a difference between I'm in debt and I'll never get out of it, and I'm in debt and I will, I'm in the process of working it out. Those are two very different positions. Which position are you holding? Are you aware which position you are holding? This is why affirmations don't always work. Actually, I have an alternative to affirmations called the thought game. And if you want, you can check out that video after this one. It's, in the links. Like when you are feeling like an idiot, for example, you can't just go, I'm brilliant, when you're feeling like an idiot. It's just too big of a jump. You can't. Pretty soon you go, I'm smart, and then you feel like you're a liar and an idiot pretty soon. So the thought game is a way to kind of ease your belief systems into a way that better serves you, okay? If you are in a situation that you don't like, if you do way more than you would like I feel overweight. Well, okay, I'm overweight, right? Do you want to just hold that? But are you holding that belief that I'm overweight, and then the reticular activating system kicks in and just gives you more evidence? Or do you want to hold a belief that sounds like I'm overweight and I'm working on losing weight? Right? And then the activation system will kick in for that. Like, oh, look at you. You're climbing stairs. Look at you. You're eating more healthy, blah, blah, blah. It'll give you evidence for whatever belief you want to hold. So if there's a belief that makes you feel bad, I would say try to find a way to soften that using maybe the thought game or just softening that belief so that you can start gathering evidence for the direction you want to head rather than the unhappy reality that you're currently living. Do you follow? Like, I'm in debt. I'm horrible with money. Do you want to be horrible with money? Or do you want to be like, well, I'm learning more about making money? If you have that position, then the reticular activating system will kick in and go, oh yeah, you are learning more about making money by this way and this way and this way and this way, rather than I'm horrible with money. Yeah, you are. So gotta be real careful about which beliefs you pick. And if the beliefs are holding you back, whether you like it or not, reticular activation system will support that. So what is the point of this post? Awareness. Be aware of which beliefs you are holding that are running your life. As long as you're aware of them, then you can do something about it. We, in this life, just go on autopilot. Because let me tell you something. In this life, I feel like there's so many people who just want you to ignore your internal, like ignore how you're feeling, ignore what you're thinking, and just do the right thing. And it's like, that. If you live that way, you go on autopilot, and then you get into trouble with reticular activation system. So it is really good to be aware, look within, and figure out what beliefs are running your life. What are the emotional patterns that you're holding? It's really important. Get to know yourself. You're a wonderful person to get to know. Get to know yourself, figure out your patterns, figure out your mental patterns, figure out your belief systems, and start working on them. And move your life in the direction that you want to go. I mean, isn't that the whole point of being here anyway? Kind of trying to figure out where you want to go and kind of moving toward a destination. It's a fun process. So it's a good thing to take a look within. You can do that, or you cannot do that. If you don't do that, then you might think you're on your way to Mexico, and then you might end up in Greenland, and you'll be like, why am I in Greenland? Because you weren't looking at the map. So anyway, thanks for watching. Check out my video on the thought game, and also, I think everybody wants to be happy, right? Check out my video on understanding negative emotions, and also get a copy of my book, The Art of Being Yay. Yahoo! You'll like it. It's fun. It's full of drama. So, all right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.